Alright, welcome back, Brush Monkeys. This week we are starting a new project. We're starting on I'm doing the Reaper Bones Shadow Dragon. Right here. It's kind of washed out in the lights there, but there he is. I put him on a bigger base. Base that I had salvaged for something else, was why it looks kind of rough. But I've got some cool ideas in mind for this guy. Shadow Dragons are usually very dark, and they supposedly come from a realm of shadow. So I'm gonna do I'm gonna try some interesting stuff with this guy. I'm gonna Zenithal Prime him, and then I'm gonna hit him with the Badger Minotaur Raven Black airbrush paint, and then I think over the top of that, just along the top of his wings and along his back here, maybe a little bit on the tops of the legs, I'm gonna hit him with just a little bit of this. Again, Badger Minotaur Ghost Tint Plasma Fluid, which is kind of it's sort of a candy coat, but it's a clear paint, and so it'll show that black through it, but it'll also give it kind of a blue highlight to it, which I think is going to look really neat when it's done. And I'm thinking, because he's standing on all these rocks, what I might do is with the rest of the base, do a lava base like I did with the Corn Demons a little while ago, and see how that looks. And then I think for the inside of the wings here and the underside of his belly, I'm going to do that in kind of a dark gray. And I don't know. I'll think of something to do with that. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do with that guy. So I'm going to go ahead and go Zenithal Prime him, and then I'll come back and show you what that looks like, and then I'll hit him with the Raven Black. Hopefully that doesn't completely undo the Zenithal priming, but you know, if it does, it does. Alright, see you soon. Alright, so we've got our dragon all Zenithal primed up, and he's looking pretty good. Looking a little bit lighter on the top than I'd like, but you know, that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and do the Raven Black and the Ghost Tint Plasma Fluid, and get those on there. And then like I said, with the base, I was going to do a lava base. So I've got my Badger Irradiated Yellow and Warning Yellow, which is orange. Not sure why that's yellow, but anyway, we're going to go ahead and put the black and the Ghost Tint on there, and then we'll come back when get the airbrushing done. All right, thanks. Alright, so I got the black base coat done on them, and I did did some yellow on the base, and painted the rocks, did yellow on the base, and then orange on the base, and did the blue Ghost Tint on him. And when the blue first went on, it looked really good. It looked like there's some blue shimmer on the wings. It looked really fantastic. Unfortunately, as it dried and as it settled in, the Ghost Tint kind of went away over the black, so it didn't have that subtle blue color that I was hoping for. So I took some I've got the stuff here. Let me get it out. This stuff is called Dragon Scale Wax, and this was made by Raul Partha back in the 80s, and the stuff I have is still good. It's still you know, some of it needs a little bit of white spirits to bring it back to life, but for the most part, it's still really good. And this is just a metallic wax. It's essentially a metallic eyeshadow that Raul Partha put out back in the 80s, and I've used this on my dragons, and it looks fantastic. You apply it with one of these little like swab kind of well, like an eyeshadow applicator, and it creates this really nice metallic sheen to the edges of the scales. And now this guy doesn't have a lot of scales, but I decided to put some on his wings, on the back of his wings, and kind of on the highlights, you know, his neck, his face, his shoulders and the hips and parts of his tail and things like that. And when I put it on there, it came out way too silvery. So I decided to I took this other weathering powder that I had. Let me dig this out here. This is Tamiya Weathering Master Set B, and it's got snow, soot, and rust on it. I took a little bit of the soot, applied it with another applicator. See, I've got another little black applicator here. This one. Put that on with another applicator, and it toned down the blue enough that it didn't look silver, and now it looks kind of a metallic bluish black over the top of it, and it looks fantastic. I think you'd think it looks a lot brighter than you would think a Shadow Dragon would be, but on the back of the wings and the highlights of the muscles and everything, it kind of works, and I'm kind of digging it. So I'm going to leave that on there. I really kind of dig how that turned out. So that's where I'm at with the skin and everything. I think the skin for the most part is pretty done. So next step is I'm going to do the claws and the horns, these little claws on the ends of his wings here, and this ruff down the middle of his back, the kind of fins down the middle of his back here, and the claws on his feet, all in Incubi Darkness. And I'm kind of tempted to sort of leave the ones on his feet alone, because while I painted the rocks black, when I did the airbrushing on the base, it kind of created that yellow on the rocks and around the edges. And I think once I put on the Mordant Earth on there, I think that's going to create a really nice OSL effect, and you can kind of see it on the underside of his tail and the underside of his legs too. Just a little bit of backsplash, and it creates that kind of nice OSL effect. So I may leave those claws alone and just leave the OSL effect on there. But this is going to be his teeth, claws, horns, and the fins down his back kind of thing. In that. And then the belly scales here, I think I'm going to do in Eshin Gray. Citadel Eshin Gray. And just to add a little bit of color to them, I'm going to, once I do the belly scales in the Eshin Gray, I'm going to wash them with Coelia Green Shade and give them a really nice, it'll darken them up, but also give them kind of a nice subtle green tint to it, which I think will look like a nice counterpart to the metallic bluish black along the back of them. And then I've got Averland Sunset and Flash Gets Yellow that I'm going to use for his eyes. I'm going to base it in the Averland Sunset because it's base paint, it's a little thicker, and then the actual color, the brightness, is going to be the Flash Gets Yellow, and I think that's going to really make the eyes pop nicely in that dark black face. And then his tongue in the inside of his mouth there, I'm going to do in this Vallejo Game Color Heavy Violet, which is a really nice dark purple color. So I think it'll look a really nice open animal mouth effect without making it look way too bright against the dark skin of the Shadow Dragon. And then, like I said, the base looks really bright now, but I think once I put the glue on there and put the Mordant Earth on there and get that crackle effect that I got with the Corn Demon bases, I think that's going to look like a really nice volcanic effect, and then having that dark dragon on top of it is going to look really, really nice. I'm really kind of happy with how this guy's coming out. I haven't painted a dragon in a long time, and the Reaper Bones lines has a really nice selection of dragons. This is actually, the Shadow Dragon is actually one of the smaller ones, and some of the dragons are just fantastic. And I used to paint dragons all the time. I got a huge collection of dragons, but I haven't done one in so long that I kind of wanted to try something small to sort of get back into doing it. And now with this under my belt, I'm going to have to go pick up a couple more dragons, and I'll probably do some future episodes on painting dragons. But yeah, that's how that's coming out so far. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the base coats on this guy, and then I'll come back and show you what they look like before I put the Coelia Green Shade. The green shade is really the only shade I'm going to put on it, but I want to get the belly scales and everything done, the Incubi Darkness on them. I might do the Incubi Darkness with the Coelia Green Shade too, just to make a really nice dark green kind of tone to it, and I think that'll balance nicely with the dark green underscales. So yeah, I think I might have to toy with that a little bit. But yeah. Oh, before I break, the ghost tint thing. Something to note about the ghost tint, and I probably should have mentioned this earlier because I found this out with another project that I had ghost tinted green, thinking it was going to be a nice, quick way of doing the green skin color. When you use these ghost tints, once the ghost tint dries, hit it with the Army Painter Anti-Shine and put a good coat on that, because the ghost tint, if you don't matte seal it after you paint it, the ghost tint, there's something about it that bleeds through every other paint. So everything you paint over the top of that, the ghost tint will bleed through. And I was reminded of this when I went to go do the yellow on here. The yellow, like right in this spot, right in here, some of that ghost tint that I had sprayed on the body sprayed down on here. And so when I painted the yellow, it bled through the yellow and was looking like this really gaudy green here. And so I hit it with the matte shine, and then I painted the orange on over the top of that, and it toned it down somewhat. It still looks kind of but the Mordant Earth will cover that up. But yeah, if you're using the ghost tints, after you use the ghost tint, let it dry and then hit it with the matte seal, and then go on with all the rest of your painting. Otherwise, it's going to bleed through all your other paints and look really weird. But yeah, so anyway, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the base coats on the guy, do the claws and teeth and everything, and the underscales, and then we'll show you what that looks like. Then I'll hit it with the Coelia green shade and finish up the little final details and stuff. And yeah, so I'll be back in a minute. All right, so we're back, and the dragon is all base coated, and I'm really kind of happy with how this turned out. On the horns, claws, and spines along its back, I went with I decided instead of Incubi Darkness, I wanted to go with Reaper Master Series Paints Nightmare Black instead, and that created that kind of, it's got a nice little bluish black thing that matched with the blue black effect I was going for on the body, and I think he came out looking really good. I really like how he turned out. I've got the gray underneath done, I've got the purple in the mouth, I've got the eyes base coated, and you can see in the face, kind of, let me see if we can get a lamp up here, got kind of a Maleficent thing going on with the face there, but it looks really good. So I'm going to go ahead and shade wash the underbelly scales right now and do a little bit of the inside of the mouth there too, and then we can move on to the next step. Oh, I put the glue on the base here too. Can't really tell that on here, but yeah, so that's done. So we're going to go ahead and do the Coelia green shade on the underbelly, and then I'm going to do the a little bit of Druchii Violet on the inside of the mouth, and we're going to highlight the tongue with Vallejo Model Color Purple, because it's just a little bit lighter than the Vallejo Game Color Heavy Violet. You can see that's what I base the inside of the mouth with. That's what I'm going to highlight the tongue with. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then when I come back, we'll take a look at how he's looking. All right, so I'm back, and the shade washing is done on the inside of the dragon's mouth. And let me see if I can get a light up where you can actually see this. The inside of the dragon's mouth is really nice dark purple now. The underbelly scales are very, very nice dark green. I was going to highlight them with maybe just a little bit of Dawnstone, but I think I want to leave that gray out of there and just leave it that nice dark green. I think that really looks beautiful, and I think it worked nicely with the OSL effect I've got on the end of the tail here. I think that really looks fantastic. So I'm not going to highlight the scales. I'm going to highlight the tongue a little bit just to make it stand out, and I'm going to highlight the eyes here, make them pop just a little more, and then put the Mordant Earth on the base, and I think we're pretty well done. This this girl went together really nicely, and I think she looks fantastic. Like I said, I haven't painted a dragon in a really long time, and I think she really looks good. So I'm gonna go ahead and do those little final touches, and then we'll come back and talk about what I got left to do on it. And man, there's not a whole lot. Like I said, the eyes, the tongue, the base, paint that base band black, and matte seal it, and should be good to go. So, all right, I'll see you in a bit. See, I've got the crackle effect done on the base, and I'm really liking how that lava looks on that base. I think that looks really fantastic on him. I think that came out really good. The eyes are done, the inside of the mouth is highlighted, so yeah, for the most part I'd say this Shadow Dragon is just about done. I just need to paint the base band, so I'm going to go ahead and take them off the stand for that. And I'm going to paint the base band, and then I'm going to matte seal them, and then we'll take a look at the finished dragon. Alright, see you soon. Alright, we are back. As you can see, the crackle paint is crackled up nicely. The Shadow Dragon is all matte sealed. The base band is painted. He's looking really, really spiffy, and I really like how she came out. Couple little things you can do just to add some extra little level of detail, and I'm going to do them now for you. Is first thing, take a little bit of, after you've gloss coated it, just take a little bit of, or after you've matte sealed it, take a little bit of gloss coat and just do the eyes. Just a little dot on the eyes there. The eyes and the inside of the mouth. The tongue, the roof of the mouth. There we go. And it's a little detail, but it really makes those spots look like they're wet, which is a huge help to making it look realistic. And also, something else I'm going to do today, and I'm going to show you this real quick. This is just an added little thing you can do for lava bases like this. I didn't do this with the Corn Demons, but I'm going to do it with the Shadow Dragon here to kind of differentiate her a little bit from the Corn Demons. And we're going to add some smoke effects to the lava base. Now obviously with a lava base, it's a little different than a regular ground base, that you can't add tufts to it. You can't, like, if you added these little pieces of grass growing out of lava, it's not going to look right, right? Even if you added these first and then painted them black, it's still not going to look right. It's going to look like a plant growing out of lava, and that's not realistic. However, cotton will work just as well. And this is just a plain old cotton ball. You really only need one. You don't really even need that much. But just break off a couple little pieces of it. Put a little piece off here. Kind of clump down the end of it. And you just take a little bit of white glue, or you can use super glue if you want, and just put a little dot down on the there. Assuming my glue is going to come out. There we go. Just put a little dot down on the base, and then you put the cotton down on it. Just kind of move it around a little bit so it looks like smoke coming up out of the lava. You can kind of spread that out a little bit. There you go. And just do that in a couple of places here and there. And this is essentially the lava base equivalent of tufting. These little cotton pieces will act like tufts for a lava base. And it will achieve the same effect of making it look like a realistic base. So there you go. You got a couple little wisps of smoke on there. You got the Shadow Dragon standing on his rocks, and he's looking pretty damn good right now. So I'm going to go ahead and call that one done, and we will move on to the next project. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you want to be notified when new videos come out, hit like and subscribe. And thanks for watching the video. I will see you guys later. Thanks a lot. Bye. Hey Brush Monkeys, Tom from Flying Monkey Studios here. If you like what you see, click like. If you want to find out when new videos get posted, click subscribe. Comment below on what you want to see on future videos. Visit our Patreon site for lots of ways that you can support me in doing what I do. You can also visit our Instagram and Facebook pages to see all the miniatures that I paint on this channel and see how you can get your hands on one of your own. So thanks a lot for your time, and thanks for watching my videos, and I will see you guys later. Bye.